Welcome to Dharma on the Sidewalk, insights, interviews, and practical tips on the teachings of the Buddha for people of all walks of life, attuning, exploring, integrating the teachings in everyday life. Simple Dhamma for daily life. I'm Asoka, hosting Dhamma Capsule for people like you. Hello, my dear friends and listeners and all the fellow travelers on the path. Dhamma Kalyanamitta. It's been a while, hasn't it? Some of you have noticed my absence since May approximately and have reached out with kindness and is everything okay with me, and wondering, and also myself, I haven't been much focused on the podcast. I hear you, and today I just wanted to share from the heart the truth of where I've been. Over the past few months, life asked me to slow down deeply. There were some physical reasons, and then there were a lot of spiritual reasons, internal shifts I couldn't ignore. In between that, there actually also was the fact that I was in northern India and had an audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And just after that, there were some skirmishes at the border between Kashmir and Pakistan. So I had to leave. I left India a bit earlier than I had planned. And I had already left Bangkok in a rush following the earthquake. So now I was leaving India in a rush due to these skirmishes. So I arrived back in Bangkok, and then after two weeks I traveled to Bhutan. And in Bhutan I was very busy. I was attending the mindfulness and neuroscience conference, which is held every 3 years. And it was complete immersion, full immersion in both secular and non-secular mindfulness-based trainings and mindfulness-based presentations and research, and that included as well AI, and it was really very intense as well in terms of practice. Plus it is in Bhutan, which means that I've also taken a lot of time to walk a bit off the beaten track with some Lama friends. So as much also as I was always having the podcast in the back of my mind rather than in the front of my mind, and so it's been stalling, absolutely stalling. Now there's been also other reasons. Overall, the idea is that I thought that the podcast would need sort of a rebranding, finding a new way to share and distill what actually is the core matter in Dharma, because that's what the podcast will remain anyway. So I changed the name of the podcast. It's not Dharma on the Sidewalk anymore. It's Echoes and Stories of Dharma, which I think reflects also more my tendency to actually have a sense of getting personal stories from people rather than just Dharma on the Sidewalk. Was because I was on a pilgrimage, basically, and I wanted to have records of meeting people. And after 3 years of life in monasteries, I thought it would really, Dharma was going to need for me at least to be right there, out there, in the chaos of life. That's why the title came really very spontaneously as Dharma on the Sidewalk. But reflecting upon it and reflecting on its actual focus and also where I want to take it, I thought that echoes and stories of Dharma would be more appropriate. So this shift also has been finding a new way, a new language, and sharing the Dharma, as considering as well that the entrance of AI in our lives. I really am very particular in the sense that I really want to keep the pure Dharma alive. So I'm trying to navigate all of that and keep it together. And sometimes we reach a moment on the journey where we can't really move forward. We need to get removing some old energy. And when you're someone who speaks, who gives a lot, who holds space for others, well, sometimes it's also necessary to honor. It says, now you need to rest, you need to empty, you need to realign a bit. So it wasn't really a breakdown, it was a breakthrough, quiet, invisible, but really powerful. I also faced things that I didn't want to face, or that I hadn't faced, let's say, in years, and there was a bit of cleansing. And then I had an encounter, quite interesting encounter in Bhutan, and this propels me on a path that actually uplifted, even including what I could share on the podcast, but more on that soon. So I didn't just want to come back online and just say something. I wanted to come back and had actually something real to share. And this is where we are now. Thank you. And your patience is a gift. Your presence is a blessing. Your trust means more than I can say. If you also have been going through your own shifts lately, maybe you also have had deep cleaning or emotional, spiritual, or maybe physical, please know you're not alone. We never are alone. We have a tendency to think that I'm alone, nobody's loving me, and this I'm only dealing with a machine. Or no, we're not alone. There are many millions of people out there who are the same goal, which is, trying to move on with life, make it work in the best way it can. And there's also another very, very wise old sage, that is, the universe never gives you more than you can handle. So you can chunk this down in your own reality and see how it applies. Anyway, for me, it wasn't really anything bad happened. It was just that I needed to step out a bit. And then it was so intense, including the trip in Bhutan, beautifully intense, that it needed to distill. So now I'm slowly getting ready to gear up again for some sharings. I need a bit more time. But I wanted to share this with you so that you know everything is fine. So if you've missed me, thank you. If you've wondered, now you know. And if you're in the season of stillness yourself, please be patient with your path, with the process, with yourself. Nothing sacred is ever rushed, and nothing real is ever lost. I'll be back, more presence with offerings to come. But for now, let's honor this. The silence has its place. The healing is not always loud, and love never leaves. Thank you for being there. I see you, and I am with you, even in the quiet. Thank you for being with us.